Omaha City Council a unanimous vote minutes ago against roundabouts that would turn Farnam Street into a two-way all-day road.
6 News' Johan Marin is tracking new developments and joins us live from the newsroom with the latest. Johan.
John, Jacqueline, Danny Begley, the councilman representing the neighborhood where the proposed change would be, put forward the motion to deny the roundabouts. That motion passed 7-0, which killed the design proposal. Currently, Farnam from Happy Hollow to Saddle Creek converts to a one-way road during commuter hours in the morning and evening on weekdays. A proposed engineered design supported by the city would turn it to a two-way all the day with roundabouts at 50th and 52nd intersections of Farnam. Hundreds of people opposed the implementation of roundabouts, and today more than a dozen testified against them. In a letter to Dundee Memorial Park Neighborhood Association President back in November of last year, Mayor Stothert said the quote, roundabouts are the safest option and is the only option that will be considered. So for now, traffic on Farnam will stay as it is. On your side, live in the newsroom, Johan Marin, 6 News.
Also breaking